Yes, sir. I tried multiple times.
Okay, next. And verifying the SQL authentication is enabled here. Right click on instance, go to the properties, go to the security. This, did you enable this? SQL Server,
Yes, sir.
tried this.
Yes, sir.
What is showing here? Windows authentication or SQL Server and Windows authentication.
Yes, sir.
Which one is showing for you? Which option you selected?
SQL.
SQL Server and
SQL
Windows
server.
authentication. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Change it. If it is like this, Windows authentication, change immediately to the SQL Server and Windows authentication mode. Okay. Even though if you change it, it will not take effect immediately. You have to restart this particular instance from the SQL Server configuration manager. Okay, from here. Which instance mine is the default instance, right? I changed it that if you change the authentication mode, after that restart it. Did you restarted the SQL Server instance?
Yes, sir. I restart.
You restarted means you reset the password? Did you copy that password somewhere while typing? Did you reset the password, login password?
Yes, sir. I did it.
Okay. So before you are resetting the password, the login name same means you might typing the wrong password because you don't know, right? When you are typing, it is taking the capital letters or small letter. You don't know it, right? So before typing the password here, type the password in Notepad. Before typing the password here, type the password in Notepad. Type the same password here, because when you are typing the password, you are not getting notice, right? Because you are typing it and you are assuming that typing the same password. So definitely it will be issue with the wrong password. While doing the practicals, be careful. You can try that. Okay. Did you try to create the new login? Did you try it with the different login?
Yes, sir. I tried.
For that also you are getting the same error.
Sir.
For that also are you getting the same error?
Yes, sir. I tried. Same error, sir. Login failed.
Share your screen.
I created dummy one, dummy two.
Share your screen.
Okay, sir. Sir, it is visible.
It's loading.
Okay, sir.
Show me that. Right click on instance properties. Right click on instance properties. Go to security. Uh, which option you selected here?
SQL Server and Windows.
It's by default they're showing Windows authentication mode, right? Cancel it.
Yes.
Cancel it, please. Cancel it. Right click properties. Security. Wait. What authentication mode it is showing here?
Windows authentication mode.
What we should have to connect with the SQL login?
SQL Server and Windows
Why it is showing
authentication.
Windows authentication? What's the reason? I told you multiple times. You should pay attention towards the class. You
Sir,
said
I
last
did it, sir, but
why so software is telling lies, right? You are telling correct.
okay, sir.
If you did it multiple times, I asked you to restart the SQL instance, right? If you change it to the SQL Server authentication, if you click OK, change it now, change it, click OK, click OK. Wait a minute, what it is telling?
Some of your configuration changes will not take effect until SQL Server is restarted.
Then what you have to do?
I restarted.
What you restarted?
SQL Server.
Do that, restart the SQL Server instance.
Sir, can I restart it?
Restart. So what I told you, restart from where you have to restart. Okay, click on yes.
Inside.
Click on yes. Okay, always do from the configuration manager. Don't do it
Okay.
from here.
Okay, sir.
Now try to connect. Try to connect with the dummy login. Where is the login here? Where is the login? I
Sir,
don't.
I deleted, sir.
No, even you didn't change the authentication mode, okay? And then you try to connect with the SQL Server login. So I told you to go and watch the recording video, right?
Yes, sir.
You have to listen the classes carefully. And even though if you are watching you watch the recording video, still you didn't understand the issue. I told it to you multiple times. Mentioned always follow the password complex. One small letter, one capital letter, one number, one special character. Uncheck this, enforce password policy. Uncheck it. Uncheck enforce password policy. There is a tick
Uncheck.
mark. Yes, uncheck it. Uncheck all. First one you can uncheck, it will remove all. Click OK. Now try to connect. Yesterday you didn't change the authentication mode. You might change it, but you didn't restart the SQL Server.
Okay, sir.
Connect now, right away. How it is working now?
But I restarted, sir. Here only I restarted.
Then why it is showing Windows authentication mode?
I did not okay, sir. Here Windows SQL Server authentication.
You should click on OK, right? So that's the reason I
Okay,
told you to watch the recording video. Did you watch the recording video?
okay, sir.
My question is, did you gone through the recording video or not?
Yes, sir. I thought.
And there also you didn't observe. You no need to watch the complete recording video. Where you are getting the error message, mostly I replicate that error message in the class itself.
Okay, sir.
You have to watch
Thank you.
that 5 to 10 minutes. Anyone have any other doubts? Whose ID is this? Srinivas Patla? Whose ID is this? Srinivas, are you there? Yes, if you do not respond, I'll remove you from my team. Whose ID is this? Srinivas Patla. Okay, Bashir, can you share your screen? Bashir, can you share your screen? Show me the practical.
Sir, actually, I am in outside. Sir. I was connected with phone.
Did you complete the practicals? Have you created the SQL login?
Configuration I done. I mean, logins, dummy logins I create.
What about the databases? Did you restore the databases, AdventureWorks databases?
User database I restored, sir, but master data, system databases I did.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the AdventureWorks databases. Yesterday I told you to restore the AdventureWorks databases, right?
No, sir, I just created dummy logins, sir.
You can restore
I
that.
didn't restore the.
Want to share your screen? Bond Prasad.
Yeah, bro, sharing.
Where you restore the databases? Expand the databases.
It's
You only restore 2 databases. Okay.
2019. 3 that.
Okay. Show me the logins.
created a separate
Right
access.
click properties. Did you assign any server level roles permissions to it?
For this, I have only public I have given.
And then what you tested?
This one I
You
have
created the login and just tested connection. That's it.
no. This one I have given
DB
data
create.
tester.
Okay.
For this, I have created some server also. Server.
Okay. Create at least 4 to 5 logins. Minimum 4 to 5 logins.
Okay.
Navin, tell me what are the server level roles available?
No, sir. Yesterday I was not attended your class, sir. That's why.
Sorry?
Yesterday I was not attended your class, sir.
You have to watch the recording, right? Why you didn't watch
Okay.
the recording?
Okay, sir.
So what's the reason? I'm asking the question. Why you didn't gone through the recording video?
Sir, actually, yesterday I came to you, sir.
What you did in the morning? You have to complete the practicals on the same day itself, and you have
Okay,
to
sir.
study on the same day.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Please. Prasad, share your screen. Prasad, it's TP. Are you there? Prasad, are you there? I'm audible. Prasad. So if you do not respond, I'll remove you from meeting. Srihari, share your screen. Show me the practicals.
Actually, I did not attend last 2 days class, sir.
Why? Did you go to the recording video or not?
I will see and I will show. Watch and I will today I will watch and I will update you.
Send me the screenshots once you've done the practical.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Shankar, share your screen. Shankar. Shankar, are you there?
Sir, I am outside, sir. Present.
Have you completed the practical for security?
No, sir.
Why?
Laptop is not there, sir. Present outside, sir.
Did you install SQL? Did you move? Did the practicals for movement of the databases from one location to another location? Use the
Okay.
database and system databases. Huh?
Okay. Okay, sir.
Have you completed that practical? I'm asking about the 2 days back practical. Moving of system database and user databases. Have you completed
User
that?
database is okay, sir.
Guys, if you're attending the class means you have to do practicals and regular. If I observe 1 or 2 times, I can't allow you to attend the classes for that.
Okay, sir.
If you're not attending the class, if you're not logging to your laptop, at least after completion of the class, you get the recording video, right? So you have to go through that recording video and you have to do the practicals. It is mandatory. Otherwise, it is waste of your time. Even though if you get the job, you cannot sustain. Okay, yesterday we discussed about the server level permissions, right? So it is very easy to remember. You can remember in this way: BD square PS power 4. Okay, B means bulk admin, D means DB creator, disk admin. Okay, P means process admin, S power 4. S power 4 means security admin, system admin, server admin. Okay, we provide some server level role permissions like DB creator to some application accounts. Okay, see, our SQL is running with one particular service account, right? The application service is also running with one particular service account. Sometimes we provide DB creator rights to that particular service account. Sometimes we might provide sysadmin rights as well. Okay, if you are providing any server level permissions, very careful about the sysadmin permissions. We can't provide without approvals. Okay? Without approvals, we cannot provide any server level permissions to any users, not only on server level, database level also. And when you get the request in real time, okay, when you get the request in real time, they will tell you instance name where they require the access. If it is a Windows login, they will give you Windows login a domain ID. They will give you the user ID. Okay. So at that time, you have to go to the security logins, right-click new login, right-click new login. And if it is the domain ID or Windows ID, you have to paste that here. Okay, sometimes it will not recognize that ID. Then click on search. Click on search, always follow this process. Okay, select object types, select everything here, groups and service accounts, everything. Here, I'm not getting the service accounts option because my laptop is not in the domain. Here, you can select locations, entire directory. Here, I'm not getting that option, but in real time, you get it. Then mention that name, check names. Okay, for example, if I want to add my ID, and yeah, let's say check names. Okay. Then assign the server level role permissions, whatever it may be. If it is bulk admin means if user wants to create run any bulk operations, it requires the bulk admin permission. If application or user wants to create the database or delete the database, you can provide DB creative rights. Disk admin, if anyone wants to move the database files from one disk to another disk, it requires disk admin permissions. Process admin, if you want to kill any sessions in SQL Server, the minimum permission required is a process admin. Security admin, if that particular person wants to modify any logins, create logins, delete logins, modify the login permissions, that require the security admin role. Server admin, if you want to change any server level configuration settings, for example, minimum memory, max memory, fill factor, backup compression, okay, database files location at instance level, all these server level configuration settings are if that particular person wants to execute sp_configure permission, that required server admin permissions. Setup admin, there is a concept of linked servers. By using linked servers, you can connect to the other RDBMS database as well, like Oracle, MySQL, DB2. Okay, by setting up the linked server. To set up the linked server, we required setup admin permissions. And sysadmin, this is the highest privilege, full permissions. When you click on sysadmin, the user gets full permissions on that SQL Server instance. It is the highest privilege permission. When we install the SQL Server, we choose the mixed mode authentication. We provide the password, right? For which we are providing the password for SCA. For which we are providing the password for SCA login. Okay. Always at the time of installation, install the SQL Server with mixed mode authentication. If you forgot to mention that, you can change it right away. Let's say when you install SQL, you choose the Windows authentication. You didn't choose this. Now you can change it to SQL Server and Windows authentication, but it only takes effect once you restart your SQL Server. This we discussed yesterday's class, right? Today we'll discuss about the user mapping. Database level permissions. How to provide permissions on the particular database. Next, schema, table level, object level. So here, let me create one login, SQL login. Logins. New login. My login name is dummy3. Okay. SQL Server authentication in real time, always uncheck this. Yesterday I already explained it. That if you select this, user must change password at next login. Even though if you create the user ID with password, when user is logged in at first time, it will give the pop-up. User can change the password at first login. Okay. And if you don't want this, uncheck this. This enforce password expiration. This after 6 months, the password will be expired if you select this. If you want to uncheck this, you can also uncheck. This enforce password policy. If user type the wrong password more than 5 times, this particular login will be locked out. You can verify that here. Status. this will be enabled if login is locked out. Only sysadmin, only DBA, whoever have the sysadmin rights, that person can unlock this after. Once it locked, that person, whoever have the sysadmin rights, only that person can unlock it. Okay. Uncheck this. This is not required in real time. We do not check these options in real time. Okay. If customer required, it depends organization to organization. Most of organizations we do not use this. So provide the password. Use one capital letter, small letters, special characters, number. Password should be greater than 8 characters. Okay. You should follow password policy rules. Server level roles. I'm not providing any server level roles. I want to map this particular login to the user database level. User mapping. Go to the user mapping. Select this AdventureWorks 2016. When you map this login, what it is doing? It is creating database user inside the database. See, it is creating the user, right? When you map this, right? So when you click on this, it is enabling here to provide the permissions at database level. Click here. Okay. I created one dummy 3 login. I didn't provide any rights on 2016 database. Okay. For 2017, let me click it. Let me provide the DB data reader rights for 2017. For 2016, I didn't provide any rights. Okay. Click OK. The password and confirm password fields does not match. Both passwords are not perfect. Let me retype the password, reconfirm the password. Let me retype the password here. Okay, click OK. Tammitri. Now connect with Tammitri. Oh, I'm entering the correct password or wrong password. Let me see this. If we get any error message, what we have to verify? First thing we have to verify is the SQL Server Windows authentication is enabled or not. It is enabled. Okay, that is rolled out. Another one is we are entering the correct login or not. Login name is dummy3. We are entering correct login. We might entering the wrong password. Let me reset the password again. How to reset that? Go to here. We type the password. Why I'm showing it multiple times means you get the similar error message when you do the practicals. Hey, we are connecting wrong instance here, right? We didn't change the instance name previously. Connect to the right instance. Previously, we used the dummy3 login and password, correct login and correct password, but we connected to wrong instance. Previously, why we got this error here, I used the wrong instance name. This instance name. In this instance, we don't have dummy3 login. Okay, that's the reason it's giving the error. See here, I can see all the databases. This is my sysadmin login. I can see all the databases right here. I can see, expand the databases. I can read the data. I can see the tables. But here, for this dummy3 login, I can't expand this adventure work 2014. Why? I didn't map this dummy 3 to adventure work 2014. I only mapped it to adventure work 2016. See, now I'm able to access. How am I accessing this? See, one login. This is a login at instance level, okay? This is login at instance level. We have multiple databases. Database 1, database 2, multiple databases. So we created the login at instance level. This is login. If you want to access the database through this login, first you should map this login to the database. First you should map this login to the database. When you map this login to the database, it is creating the user inside the database. Right? So you are accessing this database login. This login is accessing this database through this particular user, right? If you didn't map this login to the database, here you don't have the user, you can't access it. The same thing happened here. I didn't map this AdventureWorks 2014 and AD SFG databases. That's the reason I wasn't able to access these databases. If you see, if you go through AdventureWorks 2016, I mapped dummy 3 login to AdventureWorks 2016. I'm able to access it. If you want, you can go to the security, go to the users. You can see the dummy 3 user is available here, right? And see, expand the tables. Are you able to see the tables here? No. But actually, we have tables in this AdventureWorks 2014 database. If you want, you can verify from here. Right? See? Why I'm not able to see all the tables? Because of the restrictions. I mapped this particular dummy 3 login to 2016 database, but didn't provide it any database level permissions. Okay? So similarly, I mapped AdventureWorks 2017 also, but for this 17 database, I provide the DB data reader permissions. Now I'm able to see all the tables for 2017. Why? After mapping that particular login to this database, I given the DB data reader permissions. If you want, you can verify it. I click on the dummy 3 login. This is inside the security of the database. This is database. Inside the database, we have security tab, not at instance level. At instance level also, we have the security tab. This is not the same tab. I'm opening here, security tab inside the database. Inside the database, we have the users. Okay, verify. Properties. Membership. What permissions this dummy 3 have? DB data reader. So that's the reason this person, this particular dummy 3 login can see all the tables, can read the data from the tables. Okay. How to read data from a SQL Server database table? Use the command select star from. Select star from. Always use database name. My database name is AdventureWorks 2017. Then use the schema name dot table name. If you see here, if you see the tables, here you have this dbo.errorlog, human resource dot department. Here, the department is your table name. Before dot, that is a schema. Before dot, you have something, right? It is a schema name. So always write database name dot schema name dot table name. Okay. So AdventureWorks 2017 dot. This is practice human resource department dot department. Okay, like this. This bracket doesn't have any value. See, if you don't have the bracket, if I put like this underscore space xyz something, then SQL consider this is a different word. After underscore, this is a different word, but it is a single database name. So to consider that, we use the brackets. Okay, the square brackets. Otherwise, these brackets do not have any value. So you're getting the data, right? You can browse the database here, AdventureWorks 2017. If you already browse the database here, if you already connected to see right side corner, below right side corner, see my mouse pointer, AdventureWorks 2014, no need to mention here, okay? No need to mention here. Why? The connection is already open to the AdventureWorks database, 2017 database. You can read the data. Okay. If it is a default schema, what is the default schema? DBO. So if it is a default schema, no need to write the default schema. You read that data like this, right? If it is a default schema, here we don't have any log. Okay? No need to write the DBO as well if it is a default schema. Okay, execute it. Otherwise, if you want to write with the database name, if you want to write with the database name, no need to write the schema name. Instead of schema, you can write the double dot like this. Okay. You can remove the schema as well. Mention double dot. Like this also you can read the data. Okay. If it is a default schema, if you are using the database name dot dot table name. If you want to write, you can write it TBO. Okay. Select star means we are reading all column from that particular table. Star means all column. If you put your cursor here, it shows all columns. Error log column, error time, username, error number, okay, error severity. You have all these columns here, right? In this way. Like that, we have the different types of permissions at database level, different types of roles at database level. Okay. Let me try to create a table in this. Create table XYZ. Table name is XYZ. Okay. First one is ID, employee ID, employee ID. It is an integer, right? Integer, comma, employee name, e name. It is a varchar. You can define varchar data type 20 or 30. You can write anything. Okay. This is a syntax to create a table. By using which ID I am creating the table, dummy. You can see how to verify you can connect to the SQL server by using which login. Here you can see it. This is instance name. See my cursor right side below corner beside the screen sharing window here. This is your instance name, for which instance you connected, default instance. By using which login ID you connected, dummy3. Which database you connected, AdventureWorks 2017. Now let me try to create a table here. AdventureWorks 2017. Dummy3 is able to create a table. Okay, let me see that. Where AdventureWorks 2017, right? You see the what type of permissions we have for dummy3. And right click of this user mapping. DB owner rights. Okay, this company they also have DB owner rights. Okay, that's the reason I'm able to create the table. Let me remove it. Now create another table. XYZ1. Previously I created XYZ. Now I'm trying to get XYZ1. Create table permission denied in database AdventureWorks 2017. So what is the minimum permission you require to create a table? It is DDL admin. DDL admin. Okay. Let me provide that permission. User mapping. Go to AdventureWorks 2017. DB access admin means if you provide this permission, user can access the tables. You can see the tables something. Okay. DB backup operator means we have the concept of backups. If any user wants to take the backup, the minimum permission required is backup operator. This DB data reader to read the data from the database. DB data writer to write the data into the database. We'll see that. Next, DB DDL admin. Let me provide this. DDL admin means you should know the DDL commands. We already discussed that, right? DDL means remember Dr. Cat. Dr. Cat. DRCAT. D means drop, R means rename, C means create, A means alter, T means truncate. Dr. Cat. DDL is Dr. Cat. Click OK. Now try to create a table. Previously we got the error right. Now try to create it. Right. See, it's working. If you want to drop the table, drop table name. What's my table name? It's XYZ1. So this drop also comes under DDL, right? So user can delete the table. Let me insert some data. I already created XYZ table in this, right? I already have the XYZ table, okay? Before XYZ1, I created XYZ table. Let me insert some data. Insert into table name, values. What is the first one? First column, integer, right? Employee ID, it is a 10. Employee name. Employee name is 40. Okay. Now execute it. The insert permission was denied on the object AdventureWorks 2017. What permission required to insert the data? DB data writer. To insert the data, delete the data, update the data, what permission required? DB data writer. If you have the DDL admin, you can't insert the data. You can create the table, you can drop the table, you can truncate the table, you can rename the table, but you can't insert any data. If you want to insert any data, delete the data, update the data, what permission you require? DB data writer. You provide this. Now click OK. Try to insert the data. Right? Let me insert some more data. 11, 31, 12, 22, 12, 22. Just inserting the sample data. Okay. Let me read the table. Select star from XYZ. Whenever you create any table, by default it created in DBO schema. By default, it creates in DBO schema. So if it is a DBO schema, no need to run DBO. Select star from table name. That is enough. But the best practice is write database name here. What's my database name? AdventureWorks.dbo. This is like this. You can read AdventureWorks 2017. My database names. Right. Once. So start from AdventureWorks 2017.dbo.xyz. Okay. DBO is also not required. If it is a DBO, you can write double dot. This also works. Okay. This is also not required. You can only read XYZ. That works. Why? Your database here. You browse your database here. Let's say if I browse the different database here, I connected to which database? AdventureWorks 2016. But I am reading the data from which database? Yeah. Yes, you can read it. You can read it. You have connected to different database, but you want to read the data from AdventureWorks 2017. This we call it as a cross queries. You are connecting to one database and reading the data from the different database. Yes, it works. It works. Cross queries works in SQL Server, but it do not work in Azure SQL. Azure Manager DB. What is Azure? We'll see later. At the end of the course, I'll give you the overview. Okay. The next thing is delete the data. How to delete the data? Delete from table. What's my table name? XYZ. Where this is the first. What is the first column name? Employee ID, right? Employee ID is equal to 12. I want to get this data. Okay. You have to write complete here. Otherwise, you can browse the database name here. It is giving this like this red color symbol means there is a syntax error. You are not writing the command properly. I missed an E here. That's the reason it is giving that line below red line. Right now it's okay. Previously we have 3 records, right? Done. Okay. Now we only have 2 records. You can see that. Select star from XYZ. Edit. Now I want to update this employee ID 11 name from 41 to XYZ or ABC. I want to update this employee ID 11 name, this employee ID 11 name 41 to XYZ. How to write the query? Update employee name is equal to update employee name, update the table name. What's update syntax? When it out, go to the W3 schools. You can see the SQL syntaxes, small commands from W3 schools. This insert, update, delete, drop, create, everything. Small syntaxes. Okay, daily learn 1 or 2 syntaxes. What's the command for update? What's the command for delete? Very simple. Okay. Update XYZ, set employee name is equal to ABC. Change employee name is equal to ABC, where employee ID equal to 11. Okay, right. Update table name, set. Update table name, set employee name is equal to ABC. What is the present employee name? 41. I want to change it to ABC. Execute it. It worked. Now read the data. We change it to ABC, right? So if you want to insert the data, delete the data, update the data, what type of permissions we have to provide a database? DB data writer. Most of the persons, 95% of the persons have the misconception. If we provide DB data writer rights, DB data writer role, the particular login can only insert the data. It is a misconception. If you provide DB data writer database level role permission, that particular login can delete the data, insert the data, update the data as well. Okay. So if anyone asks you to provide the permissions to insert, delete or update the data, what type of permissions you have to provide? DB data writer. If anyone asks you to provide read-only permission on database, what type of permissions you have to provide? DB data reader. If there is any requirement to create the tables, drop the tables, alter the tables, what type of permissions we have to provide? DB DDL admin. DB DDL admin. We only provide these 3 roles in real time. Okay. I want to provide full rights. I want to provide full rights on the database. Full rights on the database. But I don't want to drop. I don't want to delete any data from the table. Delete or update any data from the table or database. Then provide DB owner rights here. If you provide DB owner rights, that particular login get full permissions on that particular database. You have sysadmin at server level, right? Similarly, you have DB owner writes at database level. Full permissions on the database. Okay? DB owner. That's where it is. Adventure was 17, right? Remove all these things. If you provide DB owner, this login can do anything on the database. Anything. Create table, drop table, insert data, delete, update, read the data. Okay? But my requirement is I want to provide full permissions on the database, but I don't want to read the data. Yes, we can do that. Provide DB owner and deny data reader at a time. We provide the full permissions, DB owner permissions, and we also provide the deny data reader. When you provide DB data reader, DB deny data reader, or DB owner, DB deny data, always deny permission take effects. Always, see, we try to delete the data. 11, right? Delete is working. I provide the DB owner rights, right? Denied the database schema, delete from. Which permission we given? Always deny takes effect. Is mapping. Adventure Work 2017. DB owner, deny data reader. Okay? So we can delete the data also. Delete. This is also denied. Select. Denied. Update. Create, insert also denied, obviously. Insert is working. Okay? Create table, create one new table, XYZ 1, 2, 3. Working. Create, insert working. Okay? But delete is not working. Update is not working. Select is not working. Why? Why it is not working? Delete is also not working, right? Delete. Okay. See, when you provide DB owner permissions and deny data reader, if you want to update one particular data, what happens? First, the SQL server read the data. We are telling SQL update where employee ID is equal to 11. First, it should know, right? Where is the employee ID? For that purpose, first it read the data. But what permissions we given? Deny data reader. So you can't update it. The update comes under the DB data writer. But if you are updating, let's say I'm telling you to, we have one table in that there is a value 10. You can update that to 20. First, you should scan the table, right? You should know where is the 10, where it is located. That means you are reading that. You are reading the data first. Then after that, you are removing that. You are writing new data, right? But select permission is denied. You can't update. Similarly, delete. Let's say I have 100 values in one table. I tell you to delete one particular value, which is 20. So for that, first you have to read the table. You have to identify that where is the 20 value. So delete is also first do that select operation. Okay? It denied the delete operation as well. When you provide DB deny data reader. But insert is not like that. You're inserting the data, not reading anything. Just adding one more value. That's it. That's the reason insert is working. Okay. Similarly, if you provide DB deny data writer permissions, you can't insert, delete, update the data. For DB deny data reader, at least insert is working. Why I'm telling this? Let's say you have requirement. What's the requirement? One user wants to insert the data only. The purpose of the permission, the user required only write permissions. You only mentioned write. What conception, misconception you have? Like when I provide DB data writer permissions, user can insert the data. That's it. But what about delete and update? If you provide DB data writer permissions, user can also delete the data. User can also update the data, right? But what is the requirement? Only writer, only DB data writer permission, right? How we can avoid? How we can disable this delete and update? Select DB data writer and DB deny data reader. So user can only insert the data. Okay, and you are providing the full permissions, DB owner, but you don't want to insert any data, update any data, delete any data. Provide DB owner permission and provide DB data writer, deny data writer, deny DB deny data writer. So user can do everything on the database except insert, update, delete. You got it what I'm saying? Anyone have any confusion? Does anyone have any confusion on this?
Sir. Oh, sir.
Yes, tell me.
Sir, can you explain a bit difference between DB data writer and any data reader, sir?
What do you mean DB data reader?
Sir, DB data reader and any data reader, sir.
I'm asking you, what do you mean by DB data reader? What you understand?
DB reader means insert and tables, sir.
Huh?
Yeah.
DB data reader means what? Just reading the data, not insert.
Yes, sir. Reading the data.
Only reading the data. Deny data reader means the user cannot read the data.
Okay, sir. Okay.
That's it. Data writer means user can write the data. Writing means user can, when you provide data writer, user can insert the data, delete the data, update the data, right?
Okay,
User can execute insert, delete, update commands. DDL admin means user can create a table, drop a table. Let's say I have a table with 2 columns. Okay, here I want to add 1 more column to the table. That means we are altering the table. So for that, DDL admin permissions required. If you provide full permissions on the database, full permissions, DB owner, okay, and DB deny data reader means when you provide DB deny data reader, user cannot read the data and cannot delete and update the data also. Why? Because delete, update are coming under DB data writer, but when you are providing deny data reader, user is not able to delete the data, update the data, not able to delete the data, update the data. Why? Let's say I have 100 values, 100 rows in a table. I'm telling you to delete the employee ID information where the employee ID is 11. I have the 100 employee ID, 100 employee details in a table. What's your requirement? Either you have to delete the employee ID 11 information. You have to delete that, right? So first, if you want to delete, you should know, right, where it is located. For that purpose, what the SQL do? First, it read the data from 100 employees information. First, it has to be identified that employee 11, employee ID 11 information. So first, it is reading the data, then delete it, right? But we provided deny data reader permission. So when you provide deny data reader, you can't delete the data also. And similar case for the update also. If I want to update the employee 11 information, first I have to identify that employee, where it is located. Again, first we are reading the data. So when you provide DB deny data reader permission, deny data reader, user cannot read the data as well as can't delete the data, can't update the data, cannot update. Is it clear? See, when you use this deny data reader means simply I have a requirement. Okay, I have a requirement for dummy to log in. I want to provide the insert permissions. What type of role you provide? Insert permissions means DB data writer, right? When you provide DB data writer, user also get the permission. User also, when you provide DB data writer permission, the user can insert the data, delete the data, update the data. But I don't want to delete the data, update the data. Similarly, you can provide DB deny data reader. Data writer get the permissions of insert, delete, update. This deny data reader get the permissions of not reading the data, not updating the data, not deleting the data. So always deny take effects. So if you provide this both roles, user can only insert the data, can't delete the data, update the data. Anyone have any doubts? So what are the database level roles available? DB access admin, DB backup operator, DB security admin, DB data reader, DB data writer, deny data reader, deny data writer, DDL admin, DB owner. Easy to remember, very easy to remember. And what is the difference between the login and user? Login is instance level concept, right? Where you are creating the SQL logins. Where you are creating the SQL logins, instance level. See, this is SQL instance. At instance level, you have the security tab. When you expand security, you have the logins. So this login is instance level concept. User is where the database users are available inside the database. Databases, go to that particular database, go to security inside the database. This is inside the database security. Go to users. So user is a database level concept. Login is instance level concept. User is a database level concept. And one login can have multiple users. If you map this login, obviously, if this login name is XYZ, it create the user with the same name inside the database, right? Here it create XYZ user, XYZ user, XYZ user. So one login can have the multiple users. One login can have multiple users. Here, one user can have only one login. This XYZ user, how many logins it have? Only one login. But one login can have multiple users. Always this login ID and user, login and user connected with SID, security identifier. It connected with SID. So this is the database level permissions. Okay, but now when you provide the permissions at database level, user is able to see all the data inside the database. But I don't want to see all the data. I want to read the particular tables information, particular group of tables information, or particular table information. Okay, you see the dummy 3 here. Let me take another login. Now, dummy 1. Right click, properties. You always uncheck this is not okay. Here it's a public rights, right? Adventure 2019 DB data reader rights. Okay, DB data reader rights. Okay. Connect with the dummy 1. Do not confuse, it is very simple. Security is very simple. Huh? If you have any confusion, let me know. I connected with dummy 1. Okay, I have read-only permission Adventure 2019, right? Let me read the data from here. database name dot schema name dot table name. Always here table name visible as the schema name dot table name. Okay. If it is a DBO means default schema. Okay. I have the read-only permissions on this database. Okay. I can see all the tables. I can read the data from all the tables. If we expand this database, tables, views, you can see all the views as well. Okay. You can see all the views. View means it is a combination of tables. It is a read-only. Okay, read-only. Let's say in one table I have the employee's history. In another table I have the employee address. From the employee's history, I can see the business entry ID. I require the business entity ID and employee name and employee email ID. That employee name is available in this table? No, it is available in other table of employee. By combining the two tables, I can fetch the required details, okay, by using inner joins and outer joins. So every time we cannot write that code, right? So what we do, we create a view for that. If you see the view definition, this. Select create to will get the option, create option. This is a view. Now, if this is a dummy login, right? Here we have restrictions we are not getting. Let me show you the view itself. We do not create any views in real time. Just I'm telling it for your knowledge purpose. That's it. Okay. We do not create any views, any tables in real time. Tables we create, but we get the script from the. Here you are getting that, right? Script view as permission you are getting with this admin rights. You are not getting for dummy one login because you don't have permissions to create the view. If you have the DDL admin permissions, you get this. So, create view. They are selecting some columns from where? Which table? Human resource dot employee. Right? And they are using inner join loop. They are fetching some more details from this table. Which table? Person table. Some details from person table, some details from employee. Which table? Some details from the employee table, human resource employee and persons dot business entity address. So by combining different columns, they are creating one view. So every time, no need to write this much big code. Okay. If you select star from human resource dot vs employee, if you read that, you get all the details. In the back end, it is combining the two tables, but original data storing is where? The data is not storing in views. It is storing in original table. These views are just references for the original tables. You can see the views as well. You can read all the views when we provide DB database functions. But go to the programmability. This is my admin ID. Okay, this is my admin ID. In programmability, I can see the store procedures, right? But if you see the dummy one login, dummy one, go to programmability. Are you able to see any store procedure? No. You're not able to see any store procedures. Okay. Then what permission we require to see the store procedures? That we have to provide the permission separately. If you provide DB data reader permission, just the user can read the data from the tables and views. They can't see any store procedure. They can't execute any store procedure. Okay. Right. Dummy one login, right? For dummy one login, let me assign some more permissions on different database. Adventure Work 2017 only have the public rights, right? See. Not able to see the tables. Okay. Only public rights. Let me provide DB data reader permission. Okay. DB data reader permission. You can script it as well, or click on OK. Now refresh it. User can see all the tables. Let me provide one more permission to create the table. To create the create table statement. Let me create the table in 2017. Okay. Yes, by using dummy one log. Create table XYZ1 ABC. Okay. Create table ABC. Create table permission is denied. Okay. So when I create the table, by default it creates in the DBO schema. So what permission required to create a table? Let me provide that permission. It is a DDL admin. Is a DDL. Create is a DDL admin command, right? So you have to provide DDL admin. Okay. Now create the table. So I didn't mention any schema name. Where it is created, we'll see that. It's the table created in DBO schema. Refresh this. dbo.abc, right? Here it is created. But I want to create the table in different schema. Okay. For example, person schema. Here we have the person schema also, right? You can see the schemas from here. Inside the database, you have security, right? Expand that security. Here you have schemas. Okay? Different types of schemas. Here you can find the schema for each database level role. One schema for one database level role. Apart from that, you have some system schemas. That is sys schema, information, guest. What are that? What are the sys schema, information, guest? And in this, you have one more schema, DBO. This is a default schema. Whenever you create any tables, any stored procedures, by default it create in the DBO schema. Okay, but I want to create a table in different schema. You have to write the schema name first. Person dot ABC1. I'm creating another table ABC1. That is, I'm creating which schema? Person schema. Execute it. Right? Now see the table is created or not. Person1.abc, person.abc1, right? Let's say I want to create my own schema. I want to create the table in my own schema. My schema is NNReady. Okay? NNReady. No. The specified schema name NNReady either does not exist or we don't have permission to use. Actually, the schema is not available here, right? You have that schema here available. So first you have to create the schema. Schemas, new schema, or you can use the create schema name command. Here it is NNReady. Okay. Now create a table in NNReady. This table name is ABC2. Or you can write ABC2. Okay. Right. One more table created in which schema? NNReady schema. Where is my NNReady schema? Refresh it. So what is schema? We are creating a lot of tables in a database. If you see here, human resource department, person, production, business. If you want to categorize the data, you have one database, let's see. In that database, if you want to categorize the data, I want to store employees information. Okay, let's say HR team. HR team only required access to the employee tables. They only require the employees information. That's it, right? They do not require access to any other tables, any other information. So if you create the tables, all tables in DBO schema, like person tables, HR tables, sales tables, product tables, when you provide access on database level, that person get access to all the tables. So instead of that, you can create separate schema. You can put the respective tables in that schema and only provide the access on that particular schema. So the particular person can access only that particular tables. Right? That is the use of schema. What is the default schema? DBO. By default, we have one schema for one database level role. One schema for one database level role. And apart from that, we have some schemas. That schemas are DBO schema, sys schema, DBO guest, sys, information schema. Here you have sys, right? Another one is information schema. Where it is here? Information schema. So all these remaining are human resources, person, production, purchasing, sales, and ready. All these schemas are user-defined schemas. For example, if you go to one database, I created one database, right? Which database? ADFS, some user database. Testify. Okay. Go to security. Go to schemas. What are the schemas you have? If you are backup operator, data. You have one schema for one database level role. And apart from that, you have the DBO schema, guest, information, sys schema. So whenever you create any objects, when I say objects, it might be table, it might be view, it might be stored procedure, it might be function. By default, it goes into the DBO schema. If you want to create tables in particular schema, first you have to create the schema here. Okay. Otherwise, use the command create schema, schema name. That's it. Create schema, schema name. Then in that schema, you can create the tables. NNR. What is the script? Create schema, schema name. So in that schema, if you want to create the tables, always mention create table schema name dot table name. NNR schema right here. So if you want to create table here, just copy that. Create table schema name dot table. Create table. What is my schema name? Schema name dot table. Then this table will be created in this schema. Otherwise, if you do not mention any schema, if you do not mention any schema, I want to create a default where it is. Sorry, we have to create this. See, this is already created. We included the command previously, right? So it is creating where? In DBO schema, right? So schema is a part in the database. How to define the schema? This is. This is your database. We divide the database into schemas, logical parts. This is one schema. Okay. This is another schema. This is another schema. And define. This is one schema. This is one schema. This is one schema. So database can be divided into the different schemas. Okay. Right. Is it clear? Anyone have any doubts? Next. So we discussed about the server level permissions, database level permissions. Now we'll discuss about schema level permissions. What type of permissions? Schema level. Here we have the dummy one, right? For dummy one, let me provide the permissions on different database. User mapping, Adventure Work 2016. Okay. When I map this, it creates user inside the database. I'm not providing any rights. I'm providing only public rights at database level. Okay. Listen carefully. On which database? Adventure 2016. User is able to see any tables? No, nothing is visible. Go to security inside the database, not from here. You have to go from the admin. Okay. Databases. Go to, I want to provide the permissions on AdventureWorks 2016 schema. Okay. Security. Users. You have to provide the permissions from database security, not instance level security. Instance level security will only use it to provide the permissions at instance level and database level. If you want to provide any permissions on any particular schema, table, view, store procedure, we have to provide that from the database level security. First map that login to the database, it creates a user inside the database. From here, you can provide the permissions. Expand the database, come to the security, inside the database security, go to users, go to that particular user, right click, properties. Right? Here, you can provide database level permissions as well, membership. See, database level permissions also you can provide. Does this dummy one have any database level permissions? No. Now, go to this is right owned schemas not required membership. Database level permissions. Go to the securables tab. Which tab? Listen carefully. Which tab you have to go to? Securables. Go to securables. Here search. Select all object of the types. See here, select schemas. Okay. Okay. Select HR schema. Human resource. Select human resource. What type of permission required? Select means read only. Select means read permissions. Here you have the separate permissions. Delete, insert, update. Select means read only permission. Delete means delete permission. Execute, insert permission. Right? Select. What is the command? Grant select on schema, double colons, schema name to username. Okay. Now, dummy one login can see tables. Previously, the tables are not visible, right? See, nothing is visible for dummy one. Now, refresh it. Now, dummy one login can see human resource department. This dummy one login can read the data from human resource, right? Verify it. Dummy one. Select star RAM. This is table database name. Dot schema name dot table name. HS message. Let me try to read tables from some other table, other other schema. Is it working or not? We'll check that out. Person that doesn't say. No, we do not get this. We get the permission in our option. Right? Why? We didn't provide the access on the particular schema. This is the schema level permission. Okay. So how to provide schema level permissions? See one more time. For example, I want to provide to dummy 2 login, dummy 1 login. Right click, properties, user mapping. This time I'm mapping the AdventureWorks 2014 database. AdventureWorks 2014. Okay. Click here. I'm not mapping any database level roles or server level roles. Okay. Just I'm mapping this particular login to the database. It is creating the user inside it. That's it. Click OK. Now go to the particular database. Go to the security inside the database. Go to the users, dummy 1 login. Right click, properties. Go to securables. Securables. If you want to provide a database level permissions, go to membership. You come here also. You can provide the database level rights, but I want to provide access it schema level or table level. Okay. Select securables. Select search all object types. If it is a schema level, for everything you can select all object types. If it is a schema level, you can filter from here. Select only schema. Okay, where is that schema? SCH schema. This is okay. Okay, and in which schema they require the access. Select that particular schema. What type of access it is. If it is a read-only access, select is enough. If it is an insert, select insert. If it is a delete, select delete. If it is a update, select update. If they want to see only the tables, they want to see the tables but don't want to read the data. Okay, view definition. Then select view definition. If you want to use the command, what is the command for that? Grant select on. Grant select on schema name to username. If it is an insert, instead of select you can write insert. If it is delete, instead of select you can write delete, grant insert, grant view definition, grant control, grant alter. Okay, whatever the permissions you have to provide, you can write that after grant. Here you can observe it is one more thing with the grant. With the grant means if you provide permissions to any users by using with the grant, let's say grant with the grant. See the script with the grant option. Grant select on schema name to username with the grant option means whatever the permissions this dummy one have, the same permissions it can assign to other users. Generally, if user wants to assign any permissions, they require the security admin access. They require security admin access at database level. But here, if you provide with grant option, whatever the permissions that user you are providing by using with grant, the same permissions that user can assign to others also. That is with grant option. Grant option means the user can execute, the user can get the permissions. With grant means if you provide the permissions with grant, the same permissions you can transfer or you can provide to another user. That is with grant. If you want to revoke the permissions, here you have the deny option. Deny. You want to see the command? Deny. Let's say you given DB data reader permissions in all the tables, but there is one schema, employee schema. In that we have the confidential information of the employees email ID and phone numbers. Okay, so if you want to deny permissions on that particular schema, use deny. Provide DB data reader permissions at instance database level. User get all read permissions on all tables, but I want to exclude some tables. So you can select that schema and provide deny. You provide a DB data reader rights at server level. So after that, if you provide the deny, always deny take effects. If you provide grant and deny, always deny takes effect. Okay. This is schema level permissions. Anyone have any doubts? Anyone have any doubts? Right. Next one. After schema level, what permissions we have? Table level. If you want to provide permissions on any particular table, okay, you can see that. Cancel. Right click. Properties. Securables. Search. All object types. Okay. Tables. Select tables. Instead of schema, select tables. Okay. So on which table you want to provide the permission, select that particular table. I want to provide the permissions on this person address only. Okay. Which permissions? Select permission. Select this. Script. See the script. Grant select on table name to username. This table with the schema. Always read the table with schema name. Okay. This is not only select, you can provide, delete, insert, update permissions as well. This is table level permissions. Just select the tables in the search option. Okay. And for which table you want to provide the permission, select that particular table. Click OK. Done. Go for this adventure work 2014, right? Go to dummy one. Adventure works 2014 tables. Only one table is visible. Why? I given option permission one table only. For store procedure, did we provide any permission store procedure? No. No, nothing. So how to provide permissions on store procedure? Do that particular login, right click, not login. Go to the inside the database, right? Go to databases. Go to the particular database. Go to the security of the database. Go to the users. Go to the particular user properties. Search. See if you provide any permissions, that is visible automatically here. Okay. Search. All object types will stop after the store procedures. Okay. We'll do. You have to do the practicals in the class itself. I'll give you time, 10 to 15 minutes. Remaining topics we'll discuss tomorrow. If we discuss everything today, you will get confused. Store procedures. Okay. See what is the type. You can see how to identify. Is it stable or store procedure from type? The store procedures. Okay, and providing the permission on this human resource store procedure. View means User can only see that store procedure, can't do anything, cannot execute the store procedure. Alter means can modify that store procedure. Execute means can execute that store procedure. Take ownership means full permissions on that store procedure. Let me provide view definition permission. If you want to see the script for it, script it. Okay. Grant view definition on store procedure name to table name. This is use database name go like it's normal. Okay. Click OK. Now verify that store procedure is visible or not for dummy one. Previously it wasn't visible for dummy one, right? See, now refresh it. Refresh. Store procedures. That particular store procedure is visible, right? Can I try to execute it? Execute store procedure. We'll get the error. See, we'll get the error because I don't have the execute permissions for the store procedure. If anyone in real time, anyone request you, like if anyone asks you, they are not able to see the store procedures. Okay, please provide me the permission to see the store procedure. What type of permissions you have to provide? View definition. If they don't have the permission to run the store procedure, if they require it, if they want to run that, then provide execute permission. If they want to modify the store procedure, provide alter permission. Okay. So what type of security level we discussed till now? Instance level, database level, schema level, object level. Object level means it might be table, store procedure, view, function. Okay, and column level also. We can restrict the column level permissions also. For example, I have one table, employee table. In that I have the employee information, employee name, employee first name, employee last name, employee Aadhaar card number, employee bank account details. Employee bank account details are confidential, Aadhaar number also confidential. So I want to allow to read the data only for employee first name and last name only. I don't want to read the data for Aadhaar card column and bank account details. Okay, we can restrict that. We can only provide the permissions on first two columns. Yes, it is possible. It is possible in SQL Server. Let me show you that. Security, dummy one, not security, database security. Databases, Adventure Work 2014, dummy one, right click, properties, right click on properties, go to search, go to securables first, securables, go to securables only. This you can see here. That means you are able to see here means you already given some rights on that particular schemas or objects. Search it, search all object types. Okay, my requirement is to provide the permission particular table, columns, select tables. Okay, and human resources employee, provide select permission, provide select, click on select. As soon as you click select, the column permissions enabled here. Column permissions, I want to see only gender and national ID number is confidential. I want to see only gender, birth date, gender and birth date, business entity ID only. I'm providing permissions on only these three columns. Click OK. If you want to see the script for it, script it. You can see grant select on table name. This is a column name. In brackets, you can see the column name to provide the permission to this user. Grant select on table name, in brackets column name to username. I am providing the permissions on three columns. Execute it. Why I only selected dummy? Okay, then read the data now. Where is dummy one? Take new session with the dummy one. This is which session? This is my admin session, not dummy one. See here, this session I connected with which user ID? My admin ID, not dummy one. Close it. This I also connected with my admin connection. This is also with my admin connection. Where is dummy login? This is dummy one. See dummy one. You can also see here NARSI, my admin ID. This is dummy one. Which table I given the permissions? Human resource employee, right? Dummy one is able to read the data or not. We'll see that. Okay. Dummy one is select permission was denied. See, star means all columns. Star means all columns. We are reading all columns. But I only have the permission on gender column. Gender. And which column? Birth date. What are the other column? Birth date. And business entity ID. Business entity ID. I only have permissions to read these three columns only. So we have to mention these three columns only with separated with comma. Now we are getting the data. If you mention any extra column, for example, what are other columns we have in that? National security number something, right? National ID number. Okay. Yeah. If I try to execute this, because I don't have the permission on national ID number. The select permission was denied on national ID number. Okay. It gives the error. You have to read the data from that particular columns only. You cannot use star. Star means you are reading the data from all the columns. This we call it as the column level permission. Okay. We have another 5 minutes of time, right? Do the practicals right away. Okay, we'll continue class. Do not drop from the class. You have to do the practicals in the class itself. It is 13:155, right? So do the practicals up to 2:10. If you have any doubts or if you have any confusion, let me know. Do not leave the class. Okay. Simple. It's very create one login. Okay. You already did the practicals for instance level permissions, right? Instance level roles. Then assign DB data reader permissions, data writer permissions, DDL admin permissions. Okay. Provide DB data reader, try to read the data from the database tables. Provide DB data writer permissions. Okay. First assign DB DDL admin permissions. Create one table. Create table. Oh, that's it. Yeah. Okay, create one table and insert the provide DB data write permissions. Try to insert the data in that table, not existing tables. Okay, not existing tables. Try to create the data in some user defined created tables. This is the create tables sometimes. Insert, delete, select updates, syntaxes. Okay, so insert the data. Then provide DB data reader permissions to another user, try to delete insert. Okay. After that, create one login, provide access schema level. For some logins, provide access database level. For some logins, provide access column level and store provision. Do it multiple times, minimum 10 to 15 times. Then you will be familiar with these options. If you do multiple times, whenever you get the request in real time, you will not have confusion. You do not get this much depth. No one can ask you in real time to provide the permissions in particular column. Okay. First, if they want to ask, they should aware about that. They don't know this. Okay, no need to worry about. Most of the times, 95% of the cases, you only get simple request. Please provide me the read-only access on this database. That's it. Please provide me the write access on this database. Please provide me the DB owner access on this database. In very rare cases, you get the request to provide access and store procedures and schemas. You do not get access and schemas, only store procedures. Most of the database only have one schema. And you do not get any request for the table level permissions also. Most of the times, 95% of the times, you get the request for database level. Remaining 5 to 10% of the times, you get the request on the store procedures. Inshallah, you can start your practical. Anyone have any doubts? Okay, if you have any doubts, let me know. If you have any doubts, you can stay in call, otherwise drop off. You can do all these practicals. I'll verify your screens in tomorrow's class. If you have any confusion, go to the recording video. I'll share the recording video in another 2 or 3 hours. Okay, by 5 p.m. I'll share it. You can go to that recording video, and while watching the recording video, you can do your practicals. You will get more clarity on that. If you have any doubts, you can stay in call, otherwise you can drop off.